Hi everyone, today we're going to take a look at a new light from the great video maker company, the GVM PB60B. And full disclosure, they did send this light out to me for free, but they didn't ask me to review this light. I specifically asked for this particular light because I wanted to show it to you because I thought it was very, very unique. LED lighting has come a very long way in the last few years, and they're now actually very advanced pieces of gear for your videography and photography needs. Now, the GVM brand has been a leader in the LED lighting products, and I think what really separates them from other companies is their value per dollar. All right, now let's take a closer look at this new light from GVM. It's essentially a 60-watt bi-color COB LED light, and on paper it looks very similar to a lot of other 60-watt LED lights out there. However, when you look at this, you can see it's a very different design, and this was very deliberate because it offers some very unique features that you won't find on any other LED light. Now, right out of the box, the next thing I noticed about this light was the build quality. I mean, it is extremely well made and very durable. So before I get into the unique design elements of this light, let's just talk about the core features. So again, it's a 60-watt bi-color COB LED light. So basically it has a 60-watt output, and I'll put the lumens here up on the screen. It's bi-color, so we can adjust the color temperature from 2700 Kelvin to 6800 Kelvin. It also has a very high quality light output or color rendition of 97 plus CRI. It has Bluetooth app control, so you can control the brightness and all the different special effects. There's about a dozen there via the app or on the back of the control panel. It has a very, very quiet cooling fan, which is fully automated and has various modes. And you can adjust the power from 0.1% all the way up to 100%, so it's a very smooth stepless brightness and dimming. It has a built-in internal 6600 milliamp hour battery running at 14.8 volts. So that essentially means we'll get about an hour and a half of light output at full power just using the internal batteries. But it does have a Type-C PD compatible USB port. So what that means is you can charge this light up to 100 watts on a PD power supply. So it'll charge in about 2 hours. And you can also charge a light while you're using it, so you can get basically indefinite use if you're like in a studio situation. But out in the field, you should get about an hour and a half of use at full power. And I'm always really appreciative when the manufacturer includes a nice carry case for their products, so you can fit everything in here. It's form-fitted, so everything's nice and secure for the LED light, the reflector dish, the USB-C cable, and the handle. Now I can attach the handle to any of the four sides of the light because we have 1/4-20 screws all the way around. So I'm just going to attach it here to the bottom like this. And it just screws in, and there's some locking pins in there. And now I can either just use the light handheld like this, or if you have an assistant, they can point the light to any direction that you need it. You can also angle the handle, in varying degrees, and it locks into place. But if you lock it this way, you can hold the light this way, which is, I think, a little more comfortable. Or you can hold it like a flashlight as well. And this will be the brightest flashlight you ever had, trust me. Now, the trick is, though, this also works as a light stand. So you can attach this directly onto your light stand, lock it in, and then you can adjust the light into any angle pointing up. But if you want to point it down, because it won't go any further down, you actually have to loosen this and flip the light around the other way, like this, then retighten it, like that, and now you can point the light in the down direction if you want. So if you're in a studio, this is probably the direction you're going to use it in. Now you may have noticed that this is not a standard Bowens mount adapter. It's not even a mini Bowens mount adapter. It's actually a proprietary GVM mount. They will be selling a Bowens mount adapter for this mount so that you can attach standard Bowens mount light modifiers. They're also going to have their own light modifiers like Fresnel lenses and barn doors and even a mini diffuser. But I actually found a workaround to using standard Bowens mount lighting modifiers with this light. I have one of these S-mount adapters. This one is from Godox, but there's many others. But basically it's designed for the round head flashes like this one, my Godox V1, also like the Godox 8100, so that you can put standard or speed lights and attach standard Bowens mount light modifiers and use your speed lights. But I found that this actually fits the GVM PB60 here. So all you have to do is on the light itself, you'll notice on the fan here that two sides don't have vents and then two sides do have vents. So on the sides that don't have vents, that's where you want to mount the S-mount bracket onto. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this from the handle, and this is the side that doesn't have vents on it. So I'm going to put that on the top and then just tighten it back down like this. And what that does is it takes all of the weight off the front of this light if you were to attach any modifiers, and puts it onto the mount itself. And then of course this has its own light adapter, so I can remove this handle and attach this one. I can take any standard Bowens mount light modifier, like this softbox, and attach it like so. So let's take all this outside and see how the light performs. Now the basic conditions outside is partly cloudy, and I'll be standing in the shade here. And for this first shot, I wanted to show you what it looks like just using natural light. And it's relatively flat, so what I did was I just pointed the light at me with the included reflector dish, and you can see now I have a lot more light on my face and there's better separation of me from the background. And for this next shot, I'm going to use that S bracket I showed you earlier and attach a standard octabox here to get softer diffused light. And as you can see, again, I have more light on my face, but it's softer and I still have good separation from the background. And here's what the three shots look side by side. And here I'm just doing a video demonstration again. You know, if you're standing in the shade, you can kind of give yourself a little more pop and separation from the background using LED lighting. I've always found GVM lighting to perform very well in terms of color addition, power output, light output for its given rating. So even outdoors, you could use a 60 watt light to just give your images and photography and videography just a little more pop. And indoors in a studio, 60 watt LED, if it's a small studio, you could easily use this as a key light, rim lighting, background lighting, motivated lighting, whatever. You can pretty much depend on this light to do its job and do it reliably. Now this light has a few other tricks up its sleeve that makes this light very useful out in the field. Now I mentioned earlier that this has a USB-C port that's PD compatible, so that you can charge the light very quickly from a power bank, or you can use the light and charge it at the same time. But it's also a two-way PD compatible USB-C port. So what that means is you can actually use this light to charge other devices. So if the batteries on my camera are running low or on my phone, I can plug in this light via the USB-C cable into any of those other USB-C devices, and it'll charge those devices. And with a 6600 milliamp battery, you should get at least 2 full charges on most camera batteries and 2 full charges on most cell phones. Now this light has actually one more trick up its sleeve, and that is it's weather sealed. It actually has a rating of IP25, which means basically if it starts to rain or drizzle, this light's going to be perfectly fine. Now, I didn't personally test for that because I'm very adverse to getting any of my gear wet, but they assure me that if it starts to rain, this light's going to be perfectly fine, with one caveat, and that is you need to make sure that the rubber plug here for the USB-C port is plugged in. So in the end, who is this light really for? I mean, it really comes down to 3 things for me. Do you need a light that's weather sealed? Do you need a light that doubles as a power bank? And is 60 watts going to be enough power? And I think if this is your first LED light, the answer is probably no. I would recommend really getting a 100, 200, or 300 watt light. I mean, get the most wattage that you can afford when it comes to LED lighting as your first light. And GVM has a great selection in all those different ranges that you can check out. But if this is like your second light, or you need a more rugged light that's weather sealed that you can take out into the field and not worry about damaging, because this thing is really rock solid and durable. Trust me, when you pick this up, you're going to feel it. This light makes a lot of sense, and the fact that it doubles as a power bank is kind of a bonus. Now this light retails for $219, which I think is still a really good value considering the build quality and the ruggedness and all of the features that we talked about. However, right now, as of making this video, there's some pretty substantial discounts on this light. putting it in the price range of many budget entry-level LED 60-watt lights. So with that said, I can recommend this light if you're looking for a very durable, rugged LED light that's weather sealed and offers the portability and flexibility because of the internal built-in battery, so you have cord-free operation and also the option to use this as a power bank. That's all I have for today. I hope you enjoyed this review. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.